Why is it? Yeah, it's started. Hey everyone, welcome to Couch Potato. I'm your host Mayank Anand, and you have the other host with us, Abhishek Rao. Obviously, I've seen him on my channel before with Aditya Gundeti. And the guest of honor today is none other than Anand Ratnam. Hello, sir.
Hey guys, hi, hello, what's
Hi,
up?
sir.
Thank you so much for having me.
Thank you for being here, sir. It's an honor to actually host you.
Please, no sir, just call me Anand. It's fine.
Hello, Anand.
Like, once you call me sir, I feel like I have to behave. It's like, let's not do that. Just call me Anand, it's fine.
So I'm lucky to be actually interacting with you because, as I said, I missed my chance in January, so I didn't want to do it again. I didn't want to miss it
Okay.
again. So yeah, here we are. And the first act itself that you put on, YouTube, it went viral. Okay, like 2.1 million views on the first one and 2.7 on the second one. I mean,
Okay.
back to back, viral videos. How was the feeling, when you put out and all of a sudden you were a sensation?
It was good, but it didn't go viral immediately. There is a story behind that first video. It was
Okay.
Please
I
tell
released
us.
it- Yeah. It didn't go viral at all. Actually, as a matter of fact, it was the exact opposite of viral. It bombed. It actually bombed on YouTube, the video. So the thing was, I put this video and I recorded the show in that comedy club. So Rahul Subramaniam and Kumar Varun were doing a double
Yeah.
bill show, and I got a chance to open for them.
Oh.
So I requested, can I record? And Kumar Varun and Rahul are very supportive. They're like, yeah, please record. It's okay. We want more comedians. So I was like, thank you so much. So what I did was, what you see is a 1 minute one video which is 9.5 minutes.
Yeah.
Yes.
But initially I had put them out as 3 minute videos.
Oh.
Yeah, and they all three bombed on YouTube. All three bombed. So like all three had 1,000 views, 2,500 and 4,300 views, something like that. All three.
Yeah.
And I assume ki it's gone. It's fucked. Let's screw it. Let's work on the next video. Can't do
Yeah.
anything. I don't know. Someone was telling me ki, bro, you should have put all three together because YouTube algorithm picks that up.
Oh.
Longer videos.
Oh, okay.
But I was this shit, can't do anything. So I don't know what happened. One day I got really drunk. And I got really drunk, got hammered. I went back home, and just before I was passing out, I was on my phone just scrolling. So I had a compilation video of
Okay.
all these three.
Huh.
So what I did, I deleted the three and I uploaded this one in YouTube in the night at 2 o'clock. Yeah.
Damn.
I just uploaded it and then I dozed off without even knowing I had done it.
Oh shit.
Is it?
Yeah.
People
So
should
next-
learn from you what to do when you're hammered. They call
Yeah,
their exes.
exactly.
You should upload a stand-up video that is going to go viral.
Yeah. So nobody listened to me when I'm drunk. Like, no, I tell myself that. No.
You started your career with, when you were
Yeah,
drunk.
exactly. So yeah. So next morning I woke up, I realized what the fuck I've done. And then yeah, exactly. I'm like, oh shit, I've deleted that. There's no point. Even if I re-upload, it'll be like 0, 1
Yeah.
only.
Yeah.
So I left it.
Why 0-1?
Like it started that. It
Okay,
starts
okay.
0,
Yeah.
1, 2, 3
Yeah.
like
Obviously.
that.
Yeah.
So the 9 minute video for approximately a month and a half was on 250 views.
Okay.
250 views literally.
Yeah.
Didn't pick up at all. So then there's a page called, you guys know there's a page called Desi Stand Up.
Yeah. I've heard
Yeah.
of it.
So what happened was, so this guy had a page, he had like some Instagram 350k followers.
Wow.
Wow.
Yeah. He approached and then he restarted his channel after a time because I think he had exams or something like that. He was a
Okay.
kid.
Oh.
He comes back, he's like, Anand, I watched your video. I think it's funny. Do you want me to upload one clip from your video? I said, cool, yeah. Put out that one leggings part. I think that will get a lot of views. And he put that, yeah, exactly. He put that out and then it started getting views. And then after a period of 4 months, it touched 2 million views. So it's not a success story at all.
I think this is the best success story. that we have had.
Yeah. So like it's like whenever people tell you have 2 million views, I'm like, trust me, even I don't know how to reach a million.
Remember, do it when
Yeah.
you're drunk.
Yeah.
Oh man.
Like, so that's the story behind that 2 million views actually.
Crazy, dude. Crazy.
Yeah. Yeah.
Can you tell me about the journey? You know, what is your journey from the start till you made it to YouTube?
I mean, journey was very boring, dude. It was nothing. It was not filled with fun. It was like someone told me, like they literally told me, you have to get onto this train, and it's like a 3-year train. Just sit in your place and keep doing whatever you're doing right now.
Yeah.
You know, hit open mics, and they are gonna be the worst thing. Like you guys would know. Like even when you do an open mic, it's how it is. And it was not like back in the days. It was the open mics were like beautiful. No, it was still shitty. It was like yeah. People came to an open mic. They wanted to see Kanan Gill and Kenny Sebastian. We were there, so it was the same. we
Dude,
were
that
yeah.
same thing happened with me when Naveen Kumar
Yeah.
came to our open mic. Oh my
Yeah.
god, I bombed like hell that day. You know, I mean,
Oh yeah.
I had a new joke and I was like, okay, I'm gonna say this, you know, and then I'm gonna say this, and then Naveen Kumar came. My heart started racing, and then I went and I blurted out some
Naveen,
bullshit.
I
That was-
almost said that. For fucking Naveen.
So it was more like this is the first time a man who has already achieved something on YouTube has come to a
chala
show
baat.
that I'm performing at. So that was the
Okay.
feeling behind it, and then I was like, okay, I fucked up.
Oh.
I was so nervous. I fucked up really bad.
You bomb. Oh yeah, that happens all the time. So like thing was, so for me the journey was that. It's like I got started this because I didn't like my job. It's
Yeah.
very usual thing.
Yeah.
Started doing this a lot. Parents hated it. They wanted me to go back to my day job. I didn't
Damn,
want to go
dude.
back.
Let me
Yeah.
recall. Was it like your first open mic was also when you were drunk?
Not entirely. Like, little, just a little. But it was like that, and then for 3 years I didn't put out my videos because I like believed that my bits were not ready for YouTube.
Yeah.
Okay.
Like I know I'm getting laughs, but it's not ready for YouTube because killing in a live show and the video translating into an online, someone sitting at home and laughing are two completely different things. That is why I feel like a lot of Amazon specials don't work. Like that is
Yes.
actually I feel
Yeah.
that because it's not like the comic is not funny. It's just like the craft has not been worked more on. So because it's different. Because when you see a live show,
Yeah.
a guy has gotten ready. He has booked an Uber. He planned that weekend, and he's come there to laugh. Like there's a lot of effort he has put.
Yes.
So he is gonna laugh. You cracking him in a borderline joke, he will laugh because he's come to laugh.
Yeah.
Now compared to someone watching Amazon Prime at home, they're sitting in their boxes. They don't want to laugh. They are as judgmental as possible, and to make them laugh is harder, I feel.
Yeah.
So I had this thought in my head that I will put out a video only when I feel my video bit is ready.
Yeah.
And then so I wrote this, the 3 bits that I put out: being single and Indian dogs are losing jobs, football has changed. So this bit almost at least took 2 years of writing.
Okay.
2 years of getting on stage every day, and I'm trying out this bit at least thrice a week or 4 times a week. So Bangalore was gifted in that way. We had open mics every day.
Yeah.
The
So,
scene
like-
is good, right, in Bangalore?
Open mic scene is good, I would say that. But recording wise, it is a little, still trying to figure out a venue where we can record videos to put on YouTube.
Yeah.
Like that way, Delhi is killing it. I think
Yeah.
Delhi is the place to go for that because they have a great scene where comics know what room is very recording. So this was there. So, and I did that for 3 years, and that was it. It was like a very, I kind of enjoyed it, but it was still like very work. Okay, this
Yeah.
bit has to be ready. I have to add more jokes in it. So like, audience think this is one night. No, it is like 2 years of writing, rewriting,
Yes.
rewriting.
Yeah.
So the journey has been just like, it's not fun. Like I there's no way I can say it's fun.
But I guess it has made you into someone who kills it, writing wise. Because I've been like your Instagram post, dude. Like today, the one you put,
Okay.
who could have thought of seeing the pandemic that way? it's an
Except if you're
Inception
not a
movie
weirdo.
directed by Martin Scorsese. Shit, dude, that is amazing. Amazing.
Thanks, man. Thank you so much. Thank you. That really means a lot.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's how the thing is. So like, and the whole idea was the importance to writing was something that I always had in me when I started stand-up. Like, it's not about the performance entirely. Like performance is 20%.
Yeah.
The writing is
Is
80, because
80%,
if you
yeah.
to take care of the writing, the performance is like the icing on the cake,
Yeah.
Yes.
True.
but it's not the cake. It's like you need that 80%, but 20% important. Otherwise, it kind of feels like, you know, like even if you see like comics like Dimitri Martin,
Yeah.
Yeah.
that's 90% writing.
Mm.
It's just, but the 10% is important. They still know how to package it and give it in a funny way so you
Yeah.
enjoy it. But I
Like-
feel like I'm more inclined towards writing.
If you've seen in the Indian comedy scene, Panya has a very good writing, right?
Yeah.
Panya is
Yeah.
good. Panya has his own style. Like,
Yes.
Yeah.
So he's that political humor,
Yes.
which is mostly sarcasm. Like you can see good sarcasm coming from him.
Yeah.
So I think Puneet Panya has figured out that what works for him, and I think he's doing that. So I think he put more effort in finding out what works for him.
Yes.
True.
I think that's why it's good. But he is a very good writer. That I would
Yeah.
definitely tell. Yeah.
Nice. So another thing is you do great crowd work. You know, you have been killing it at crowd work lately. So how do you suggest for new comics to actually get better at that, the spontaneity, you know, on stage, as to, like, there are times when somebody might try to heckle you. Okay, there are times when somebody just laughs so loud that it actually breaks your flow. So you have to deal with that in a very innovative way and get back to where you were, you know. And I think that's where you actually start with your crowd work, when you're doing sets and your flow breaks, and then you have to get back to it. And then you think,
Yeah.
okay, this has been interesting and I have to do more crowd work. So what is the exact process you would say?
See, the whole process, why I think I became sort of decent enough in crowd work was because of 3 years of that I told, right? 3 or
Yeah.
4 years.
Yeah.
I hosted a lot of shows.
Okay.
I hosted a lot of shows, so the whole pressure of going up on stage with zero laugh, like nobody has
Yeah.
done a single joke. It's you who's gonna start the show. So what happened with that was that kind of made one thing was whenever before I would go up on stage, I would just try to look for observations.
Yeah.
Like, was there anyone doing anything weird? Like if there's a cranky fan, if the music is too loud, you know, like if there is people who are drinking a lot, you can tell. Like if there's
Yeah.
one table.
Huh.
So basically, trying to gather as much information to address the obvious first.
Yeah.
So once you do that, you have spontaneous observations immediately for the people, audience sitting. So it's not written jokes.
Yeah.
So when you do that, as a host, I'm telling. So you do the spontaneous observations. People are like, oh fuck, he made that joke. It looks like it's spontaneous. And then that gave me a bit of confidence. And then what I would do is talk to the audience.
Yeah.
And I wouldn't talk like, so where do you work? You know, the most
Okay.
usual questions. Trying to be like, trying to dig deeper, like in the sense like you look like someone who does this.
Yeah.
Yes.
So it's
And then
more.
initially,
So
yeah,
I think it's more assumptions than actually questioning, and then you get into
yeah.
the
So like
reality.
the thing is, the whole idea I think that works is because when you enter assumptions,
Yeah.
you're kind of taking a risk.
Ah.
So it might have a better payoff or it might bomb. And I remember initially when I was like, you look like someone who works in MNC, and he would tell like a totally
Yeah.
completely different job. I'm
Yeah.
like, I'm sorry, sir. I thought you were this.
Yeah.
You were like, dude, what? The thing was, I asked this guy, like, dude, you look like someone who works in IT software industry. And he said, no, dude, I'm in merchant navy.
Yeah.
And I'm like, sorry, dude, I really had no idea what. So, you know, you slowly build on that and then
Yeah.
try to dig a little deeper with crowd work. So, like, and that kind of helps. So, even you say, like, what's your name? Where do you work? What is the dynamic relationship status? All that thing. Try to go beyond that, and then I think you will
Yeah.
find loopholes.
Like in one of your Instagram videos, I've seen in the crowd work, I think a couple came late, and you started doing crowd work on them. How did you came up with that idea?
Which one was this? Couple came. I think couple left early.
Yes, couple left. No, they came late in Vizag.
Vizag only. They left early. They left early. It's the reverse.
Okay.
So like they were sitting for the show. The thing was the show was supposed to be 1.5 hours, I think. 1 hour 15 minutes, but it went long. It went
Okay.
really because every comic was doing good, and I was closing. So every comic went overtime. They're like every comic is having fun. They're like, dude, I want to try one more bit. I'm like, yeah, try. Take it. Every time. So they really had to leave. So the thing was, it was just in the moment, dude, the way that nobody else clapped and that one guy clapped for them. It was just like, it felt like, yeah. And that audience member was very supportive. So like he was clapping from the very beginning of the show. He was very enjoying. So I can pick on this guy. He wouldn't mind it. So like, yeah.
Was he drunk?
Nobody was drunk that show. Everyone was sober, but
Vizag does not have the scene where people are sitting with beer bottles on tables. That's not the scene Vizag has at all. Vizag does it like the.
I think.
Yeah.
Correct me if I'm wrong. Vizag is like there are a lot of rich people who want a party, but there are very few pubs. Is this true?
This
like
is
I
true.
feel that.
There is a whole section of Vizag which is very posh. Okay.
Yeah.
And you'd actually notice that if you go to movies, at Varun Beach, you have this Novotel Varun Beach, right?
Okay.
Yeah, it's a 5-star
hotel. I know Novotel.
So Novotel basically has an Inox, attached to it at the backside. So if you go there for movie shows on Sundays, right? You'll see so many BMWs and Audis, and you're like, damn, dude, Vizag has a lot of rich people, but they can't party anywhere. Okay. And the problem is, it's still orthodox here, and that is why people are still opening up to new ideas of stand-up and things like that, and people being made fun of through comics.
Exactly.
They're still getting there. So it'll still take like I think 3 to 4 years more where you'll actually see comedy clubs opening with tables where people are sitting and having a fun time, having snacks.
No, the
and
thing
beer
is,
and
the
stuff
problem
like
is since there are very few pubs, the pub owners are like, there's this huge gap in supply and demand.
Yeah.
So like every pub is full. It's full.
As I said, we had to roam around like to find one table at one of the resto bars. We were like, damn, dude, this is so much.
No, the thing was, I remember when I came there, we went to, I think, 2 pubs. The second one we entered because they already knew ki wo wala bhi full rahega. So the first one, So I went there, the first one was full. The guy, the problem was we walked up, there were like at least 4 or 5 guys who didn't want to drink in the gang. It was only me, Naveen, and one more guy wanted to drink. So the guy is like, sir, only 2 of you are going to drink, but you have got 8 people. Why would I let you in? It's just a waste of table. So the thing was, and it's already jam-packed inside. There is no place. I was like, dude, what the fuck? We can't even find a pub to sit. And this was the reaction on my face. But every other local comic is like, हाँ ये तो होता रहता है यहाँ.
Exactly. Saturday nights are the worst.
They were very cold. They're like, yeah, normal. Let's go to the next pub. Find out where. I was like, okay, this is a regular thing there. So I understood that. But I knew a lot of rich people live in Vizag. That was for sure. Because it's like the cab driver was taking us and I could see the amount of Audis and BMWs taking over. I'm like,
and you'd find that a lot at the beach road in Vizag, Like,
yes, exactly. That's where we found. It's like there was the shield over the car and people are just standing on top of it and then like, I'm like, dude, this is a very rich place. This is too rich for me.
Oh man.
Yeah, this is like, I was sitting there, I'm like, I'm feeling like, okay, shit, dude. This is like,
man. That is
but I enjoyed the food. It was really nice. Yeah. We were doing Vizag and Vijayawada back to back. So it was very, very nice. Vijayawada food was insane too. I was like, oh god. Never ate so much. I became fat after I came back from Vijayawada. One day I ate so much. Yeah.
So
let's carry on.
What was the process of writing your tour? Like you're touring around, right? So what was the process? Did you follow?
The process of touring was writing was very simple, dude. Me and Naveen had individually good 30 minutes with each other.
Okay.
We had 30 minutes and the target was to make it 45 of each. So the thing was, and that was not happening in Bangalore because we had gotten the vibe of the city.
Yes.
But we were like, okay, I know this joke will not work in Bangalore. Like that kind of mentality. And I wanted to, and he was the one. So the thing was, it was around New Year. We both planned just let's go to Chennai. Let's do the show at Chennai. And then let's do Auroville.
Okay.
So we finished Chennai. Chennai was a decent show. It was not that good because it was still pandemic, so only 13 people. It was a 13-year show. 11 people had come.
Okay.
So I remember Chennai. We sat and we were drinking, and that's when we actually like discussed this, and we were like, what do you want to do with this? So we wanted to find out where and all comedy happens in India. Like,
Yeah.
even a minute comedy scene is there or not.
Hmm.
And that's how we got in touch. We knew Kochi already. We had done in Kochi.
Yeah.
Coimbatore we had already done.
Hmm.
Bangalore was there, and
You came
we
to
knew
Hyderabad as well.
Yes, we knew Hyderabad. Hyderabad was gonna be there. So in Andhra Pradesh, Andhra and Telangana, only Hyderabad was the city that we were sure about.
Okay.
Yeah.
And then we just once we made the plan with these 4 cities, we just started asking around people. We were like, okay,
Oh.
where do you think? Where do you think? And then we got in Hyderabad. We got in touch with guys who run Warangal,
Oh.
Okay.
then Vizag, then Vijayawada. Vivek Muralidharan told us. So like, fuck it, I want to do that. So there was another thing. There was another city. There was Karimnagar.
Oh.
Yeah, we were supposed to do in Karimnagar also,
Damn,
but I
dude,
think
Karimnagar.
yeah. So because of the pandemic, it got cancelled, Karimnagar, but we were
Okay.
supposed to Karimnagar as well. So these 3 cities are confirmed: Vijayawada, Warangal, Vizag.
Ah.
And then we got more, and then we were trying to find out Mysore. We were trying to find out like so. So that was the whole process of finding the city. We already had 30 minutes.
Yeah.
Okay.
We were like, 30 minutes I can handle the audience. I can somehow make sure it's not a bad show.
Yeah.
They still like jokes are there. Then once we started traveling, I understood at some places some jokes fell flat
Hmm.
because they didn't get the reference.
Yeah.
You know, and it's not their fault because this is pop culture. It's a varying level.
Yeah.
Some people know a lot, some people don't know that much. So once I understood that, the whole writing process was that like more universal punchlines and tags.
Okay.
And
Ah,
tangents.
yes.
So that was the theme behind that writing. So
Okay.
once we sat down, like, okay, this joke worked here, here, and here, all these 3 cities. That means keep this joke.
Okay.
This joke worked only in 2 of the cities. I think it needs to be rephrased.
Okay.
So it was basically that was the thing. So with the 2, that helped us because it was a very dynamic audience. In like even Vizag and Vijayawada was such dynamic audience.
Hmm.
Like I remember, like in Vizag, there were a lot of they wanted to laugh. This was a very outgoing kind of like this doesn't happen here that often.
Yeah, there were some
There
of
were
my
a lot of-
friends there too. I mean, the people I
Yeah.
follow, they were like, @Anand Ratnam is so funny.
Yeah.
This and that. I'm like, damn, dude, I'm missing this shit. My parents
So-
are letting me go.
So that happened, you know. So
Yeah.
but Vijayawada was completely different. They were like very orthodox. They were reserved. It was hard to like the
Yeah.
host went up, he couldn't break them.
Yeah.
So yeah.
It is difficult.
So I went there, then I had to take like literally 10 minutes of my stand-up time to break them. So like you know, so Vijayawada was a new learning experience. Same thing with Goa. Goa was very different kind of experience. So
Yeah.
like when you experience different kind of cities and people, so you kind of affects your material. Kind of
Yeah.
get tagged. I think that's how the writing helps.
Hmm.
That was the process behind that.
So I think comedians work so much on their writing. You know, do you think that comedians can make for good screenwriters when it comes to shows and movies? I mean, let's talk about suppose this Zakir with his show Chacha Vidayak Hai
Chacha
Hamare.
with like,
Okay, like he has written a great story. Okay, such a relatable story where people of North actually brag shit. Okay, I've studied in Greater Noida 4 years, so I know
Okay.
how Delhi NCR is, and he has done on Madhya Pradesh. So like that
Correct.
feeling sort of continues, you know, down below that. But the point is. The way he showed that he's like Chacha Vidayak Hai Hamare just because the title matches. That is actually true with a lot of people there, you know.
Yeah.
So, and then there's Kenny with Die Trying, you know.
Correct,
The way
yeah.
he portrayed Bangalore and the vibe of struggling people at Bangalore, that was amazing, dude. Like I was like, if I start, you know, stand up in Bangalore someday, this might be the case with me. That's how it was, you know. So I
True.
think writing process helps with these things too, right?
Definitely, dude. It does help. It helps a lot. Stand-up comedy writing, but this you have to understand. You have to accept the fact that script writing, screenwriting is a different genre
Yeah.
itself. It's a different genre, and it's not in the sense ki it's like there are different rules applied.
Yeah. Of
So you have to
course.
understand that. Like I like sat and discussed with some guys who are, for them, their main profession is screenwriting,
Okay.
and they do stand-up comedy on the side.
Oh,
And
okay.
right now at least. So I spoke to them and I understood when you do stand-up, it's like set up punchline joke.
Yeah.
Set up punchline, set up punchline, set up punchline.
Yeah.
Sometimes you're trying stories, but even there it's filled with laughter.
Yeah.
You're building a
Yes.
story, but it's laughter. Screenwriting is different. It's like you write something which is going to be visually depicted.
Yeah.
Ah, yes.
So it's scene from scene.
Hmm.
So there are different tools. Some things you don't have to explain.
Yeah.
You know that whole norm when you say enter the scene late and leave early.
Hmm.
When you write screenwriting, this is a very simple basic tool. Enter the scene late and leave early, so that you're keeping the audience hooked. It's not boring.
Oh, okay.
So there are different tools to screenwriting, and even like Kenny Sebastian and Zakir Khan went through that process.
Okay.
They
Yeah.
so you know that they were not the only writers, right?
Yeah.
Yes.
Of course. There's
Yeah,
Anirban
so-
Das Gupta. There are many more
Yeah.
names. Yeah.
So Anirban Das Gupta is very well versed in, like, he knows good screenwriting,
Yeah.
and there are writers who write screenwriting.
Hmm.
So that's completely a different thing, and that needs to be attacked differently. It's just not comedy over there. It's
Okay.
like a different feeling. Like for the same reason, like if you watch Steven Spielberg movies,
Yeah.
Yes.
now if you compare to Nolan and Tarantino, Spielberg is the most comedy inclined director.
Yeah.
He is one of the
Yes.
most comedy. So if you watch Back to the Future or Jurassic Park, there will be characters like in Jurassic Park, there's Jeff Goldblum.
Yeah.
Yes.
That guy is crazy,
Yeah.
dude.
Yeah. So the thing is, whenever he's very funny, like with his witty responses.
Yeah.
They're talking about science. They're talking about man playing God.
Yeah.
But there is humor.
Yeah.
So that's what it is, Steve. So that's how you incorporate humor. It's not like stand-up comedians cannot be a good screenwriter, but there's a way to do it. Like Steven
Yeah.
Spielberg does it the best way. Like he would incorporate humor, but he will never lose sight of the movie.
Yeah.
Ah, yes.
True.
He'll
That is
never
true.
lose sight of that. And as a stand-up comedian, you can lose that because your job
Okay.
is to write more jokes.
Yeah. True.
So people won't get that twist. It's like, हाँ थोड़ा story थोड़ा लंबा हो गया था, but jokes काफी अच्छे थे.
That's how. Yeah. That's the kind of feedback they get. Yeah.
Yeah, you'll get. But if a screenwriter does that, the movie will be a flop. He said कि यार movie में jokes ही थे और कुछ था ही नहीं.
Yeah.
know,
If you know about that, yeah, exactly. That is true.
Exactly. So I think
Happens.
that's how it works, I feel.
Yeah.
So you talked about directors. So who is your favorite director in Hollywood?
Mine is I don't have any. Like my favorite director would be David Fincher.
Okay.
You guys
Oh.
know who's David Fincher?
I do.
He's Seven, Zodiac.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes.
Yeah.
So I like him a lot. Like,
Psychological
Mindhunter-
thrillers. Yeah.
Yeah, I like him a lot. Like my favorite series is Mindhunter.
Oh,
Like, I
man.
love- yeah.
That is a
So
great
I think,
series.
David Fincher is my favorite. But it's not like I watch only David Fincher's. Like I watch
Yeah,
a
yeah.
lot. Like especially like the pop culture famous one, so I have to watch because sometimes
Yeah.
you're a comedian, so you won't get the reference, and you need to get the reference. It's like
Yeah.
watching a Nolan movie or a Tarantino movie is a given. I will watch them.
Yeah.
But I love Tarantino's movies. Like I just love that gore killing. It's just like
We were
That's
just,
like one-
I mean, me and Abhishek were just discussing about Tarantino
Discussing
movies.
about the.
yeah.
So I think when it comes to Hollywood and all, one thing's given is that there are so many iconic directors, but 3 to 4 names that have stood the test of time are Nolan, Tarantino, Spielberg, and recently we have seen Taika, and
yeah.
like Taika
Bong
is
Joon-ho. That's
yeah, Bong Joon-ho,
Bad.
exactly. I was gonna say that. So I think
Yeah.
these guys are people who have created such amazing movies on screen, such artistic stuff, that just stays with us lifelong. Like as you said, Spielberg has given us Jurassic Park. He has given us Back to the Future. He has given us the initial movies of the Transformers. So it's like he has given us all the cliche entertainment, in the cinemas that we grew up with,
Okay.
and
Yeah.
then there's Nolan. Okay, when Nolan entered our lives, that's when we started to work on our IQ, I think. Because I think when you're in a Nolan movie, you cannot concentrate on your Coke, you cannot concentrate on your popcorn. Okay,
Yeah, you cannot.
take whatever is given to you and just concentrate on the movie through and through.
That's what his movies don't premiere on Star Movies. They come on Discovery.
Yeah,
They're like,
True. That is true. And even
If
Discovery is
his movie
like,
had an-
even Discovery is
Yeah.
like, let's just discuss the making. We won't get the movies anyway. That's
Yeah.
how Nolan movies
He's like
are.
even like a Nolan movie stars. Even David Attenborough is like, you are on your own.
Yeah.
We tried to process it, but we couldn't.
To add this to this, like just after my breakup, I started watching Interstellar.
Oh, that was a quick turn.
I'll tell you how it can be
Talking about
relatable.
Nolan and suddenly like, when I broke up, I'm like, what? Hey, wait a minute.
Life's too sad for Abhishek.
Yeah, it's like
When I
It's
watched
like-
Interstellar after my breakup, I was,
you understood your
not able to
breakup.
differentiate. Yeah, because I was not able to differentiate between space and time.
Oh, okay, love that. Is this one of your written jokes, fucker? You're like trying to
No.
put it like, hey guys, wait a minute, I had a thought. Don't lie. This is clearly like I've seen you written it in your diary, Nolan. When you draw that space and time Nolan girlfriend, how do I connect all this three? That's how you wrote it. Okay, I got you.
Abhishek, don't try one-liners after this.
Yeah.
Man.
I was like, there was a weird turn. Like, we're like talking about Nolan, and it's like, but my breakup guy. It's like, someone's talking about Spielberg. Oh, I love Spielberg. Yeah, when my brother died, and I started to.
Watch Back to the Future. I start getting ideas,
Yeah.
how to travel back in time and maybe stop that.
Yeah. That was nice. Oh man. But yeah, you were saying, sorry, your girlfriend.
Oh man, crazy.
But yeah, so like I think I grew up watching Spielberg movies, so I think if I had to pick three of them, I would
Yeah.
pick Spielberg.
Hmm.
But like second would be Tarantino and third would be Nolan, because Nolan is good. I really enjoy his movies, but after a point, I'm like, my head is hurting, dude. I can't take more of this. My head is
I think mine is a little different. My approach is like I guess Tarantino would come first because
Okay.
whenever it's the most entertaining to me because obviously like Spielberg movies are catchy, but then there's Tarantino. He keeps you hooked.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter if
Definitely.
you wanna stay hooked or not. All his frames are
But,
so artistic and so iconic. Like
Oh yeah, that is true. That
he
is true.
makes
Tarantino's.
he makes shit dramatic. He'll put all kinds of relatable stuff on screen for you, okay?
Yeah.
And then he'll add that drama to it, okay? And then you'll go like, damn, dude. Do you remember the
Yeah.
Kill Bill ending? Kill Bill Volume 2 ending?
Yes.
The Lotus
Not volume
Hand.
2, volume 1. I didn't see the volume 2.
Oh
I didn't see
shit!
volume
You
2. I
have
saw
to
volume
see.
1.
You have to see Volume 2 and the ending, okay? I won't spoil it.
Oh, yeah?
I mean, I wanted to discuss this with you, but I won't spoil it for you. You should watch
Okay.
it because the way it ends, it is so beautiful. It does justice
Oh,
to the
okay.
to both the parts. That's how amazing
yeah?
it is. Yeah, it
I'll
is.
Check it out. I'm writing it down. Watch Kill Bill volume 2.
Yeah. So I think.
But my favorite, I think, Tarantino movie would be. I love Django.
Django.
Django Unchained is one of my favorite Tarantino, and it's
Yeah.
like not the main one. Like people pick Once Upon a Time in Hollywood.
Yeah,
or they
Pulp
pick
Fiction.
Pulp Fiction.
I pick Pulp Fiction
But-
usually.
Yeah, exactly. But my favorite, I think, would be. Oh shit, guys, can you see me?
No.
No. This has come back.
Yeah. Just come back. Yeah.
Sorry, I got a call.
That's
a call.
fine.
Okay.
So thing is, my favorite was Django. You know why? Because I saw it in college, and this is the first Tarantino movie I'm watching.
Oh.
I have no idea about any Tarantino movies. Nothing. Like, okay, my friend said this is good, and it's just like Jamie Foxx and Christopher Waltz. I fell in love with Christopher Waltz.
Yeah.
That guy, the way he acted, and that that tooth on top of that vehicle, that I fell in love there when they have that.
Yeah.
And that was like my favorite scene. The way and the thing was, when I walked into the movie, I didn't know about Christopher Waltz,
Yeah.
I didn't know about Jamie Foxx, and I
Yeah.
didn't know about Tarantino.
Oh.
So when I went only because I saw Leonardo DiCaprio.
Yeah. He was
Yeah.
like
And
the
and I
popular
thought he'll be
one.
the main character. And they killed him like it's nothing. They killed him like, go die.
That's what Tarantino does.
Yeah.
He'll kill characters like they're nothing, dude.
Yeah, and I got
man.
mind fucked. I'm like, yo, what the fuck is happening here? But some scenes are very powerful. Like I remember
The
Yeah, the
scene.
skull scene.
Yeah.
And Samuel Jackson scene, you know,
Ah.
like a black guy being the bad guy
Yes.
for a black, and it's like very nice. The way he built it up
Amazing,
is
man.
like.
I
that is
think
very
Samuel Jackson is one of the top picks of Tarantino.
Oh, and
since
he loves
Pulp
Samuel
Fiction.
Jackson.
Since
He
Pulp
loves him.
Fiction.
Yeah.
And dude,
Even like him and M Night Shyamalan, these two guys love Samuel Jackson.
Yeah,
They love
true,
him.
true. So there is
Definitely.
this story with Pulp Fiction, okay? So in 2019, what happened is the MBA batch came in, okay? I was in university
Okay.
then, third year, and the
Okay.
MBA batch came in, okay? And they were like just 2 years older to me, so we like vibed as soon as we met. That's how great they were, you know. They were also damn crazy pop culture fans, and I was a crazy pop culture fan. So we were like always discussing this shit. And then there was a guy. I asked him, "Have you seen Pulp Fiction?" He's like, "Dude, I'll never do cocaine in my life because of Pulp Fiction, because of that OD scene that happens in Pulp." He was like, "I'll never try cocaine for that reason." I'm like, the priorities people have.
Yeah, it's like that is your reason to not do coke. Like
Yeah,
what is wrong?
exactly. I was
How
like,
about your own
damn, dude.
conscience?
Why? That's
You know what? You should have referred to him like the Basketball Diaries. So you haven't seen Basketball? So like, go watch this movie. Fucker, go watch it.
Yeah,
Have you
so,
seen Basketball Diaries?
Yes.
Oh my god, it's one of my
have
one
to
of my
finish it.
He was
favorite
so
mind
young,
fucking
right?
movies.
DiCaprio was very young in that movie.
Oh yeah, he was 17 something. 17
yes.
or something. He was very young. It's the one of the most mind fucking movies I've ever seen in my life. Very mind
Yeah.
fucking. And I saw it as a 17-year-old. So like it's like, yo, this is like me only. It's like I am gonna see these things.
One of the most relatable shit that you've ever seen.
Yeah. It's like you're saying this is what we get in college. I can't wait to go do it.
And then
And
you
then-
go to college, and then it is
Nothing.
like, shit,
Nothing.
dude.
Yeah. Because it's Indian college. That's the difference. It's an Indian college.
Then engineering happens.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's fucking horrible.
Dude,
But yeah, that's
the worst part about this college part is Netflix came out with a show called Alma Matters, and the best part about the trailer was the guy who's smoking there, who's smoking a cigarette, and he's like, I never wanted to do this shit. I was forced into it, and now I'm frustrated. And then he smokes. And that's the story
Yeah.
of almost every engineering student. That's
Exactly.
what happens in India.
so that's how fucking classist Indians are. Even if you have a sad story, you need to be in IIT and tell it. You can't tell it in a shitty college. It's like,
Otherwise, they'll be like,
That's a-
dude, you're frustrated because you're a failure. That's how it is.
yeah. They're like, no, you are sad because you're in the sad college.
Yeah.
It has nothing to do with you. It's like, yo, I mean, like, he's telling the same things there. That's
Oh,
the most
man.
stupid things Indians can ever come up with. It's like, oh, if your life is miserable, it needs to be in a good place and then be miserable. No, have you heard, like, if someone is working in Goldman Sachs and then he tells, I don't like my job,
Yeah.
then you're like, oh, it's a serious problem. Yo, even I don't like my job, do it. What the fuck? If I tell that, they're like, no, no,
Oh,
no.
man.
It's because your job is shit. That's why you hate
I
it.
have friends, I have friends who are earning, amazing sums of money, and I'm doing YouTube
Oh.
full time right now.
Yeah.
And they're like, you should take up a job. I'm like, do you like a job? They're like, no, I don't like my job, but it's important. It's important for me to
Yeah.
do it because I earn. I'm like,
Yeah.
all right, good for you. But I'm happy to
Yeah,
know that I'm
then
not the
I-
only one who's not happy to take up a job.
Exactly. I do that. My friends and all are employed. They're like,
Yeah.
they tell like, why don't you? They used to tell, not now.
Yeah.
So like, why don't you take up a job? Because like I love doing this, dude.
Yeah,
And
exactly.
they're like, but you need a job. Then who's gonna pay for these drinks? I'm like, you. That's why I'm you. You're sacrificing for your dreams. Do it for me also.
man.
You know, just pay the bill. And I'll make you laugh. I'll tell you sad jokes. That's all it is.
It's
Yeah,
a
we
win-win
do that.
situation.
Yes, exactly. It's
I
win-win
give you
situation.
entertainment, you pay my bills. That's how it is.
Yeah. It's
Oh,
true.
man.
That's all I did for the first 3 to 4 years of my comedy career. Whenever I wanted a drink, I'm like, hey guys, where are you?
you won't agree, but I mean, you won't believe this, but this is the same thing that's happening to me right now. I'll prove it by, pulling my friends to the comment section and telling them to comment down this shit,
Definitely. Dude, and it's not like I told this because I know it's very relatable. Like if you're
Yeah.
staying in a city where you grew up,
Yeah.
it's not an alien city. Like imagine if I moved to Bombay, the scene will be totally different for me.
Yeah.
But since I grew up in Bangalore, I have all my friends here. Everyone
yeah,
lives here.
Same goes with
So
me.
they're all one phone call away. And like I know I work on Friday, Saturday, Sunday mainly,
Yeah.
which is weekend for them. So it's like the conditions cannot be more perfect. It's like a flat pitch and Virat Kohli walks in. Like that's how it is. And so it's like
Amazing, dude.
I had to like consciously tell myself, no, stop hanging out with your friends. Like try make comic friends. Try to hang out here more often.
Does it happen like joke अच्छा था बिल भर?
Yeah. You can't be so direct. You have to like be
Subtle. You have to be
Yeah,
subtle about
subtle.
it, right?
Hey, I'm going to the restroom. For the 19th time? Yeah, dude.
That's
Beer
what
as
beer
well.
does to you. You pee a
Yeah.
lot.
It's ironic that doesn't do it for them.
That's how my system works. That's how my
Exactly.
system works.
Then once my friends understood that they have to pay the bill, they were like, yeah, come, it's okay. Very supportive.
Nice. That's nice. So, friends, if you're listening to this, please be as supportive as Anand Ratnam's friends and send me some money.
Yes.
Send me some money. Abhishek, you too, man. Send me some money.
Yeah.
You're employed.
I'm working.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh, Abhishek still has a job. Okay.
Yeah.
That's nice. Yeah.
So, yeah, as we were discussing about, Indian classes shit that's going on, let's talk
Yeah.
about the Indian film industry a little. So,
Yes. Oh my God. The elephant in the room.
been saving it for the last for a reason, dude.
No, I said it's the elephant in the room because it is the elephant. Doesn't move. It's just there. It's there.
Oh,
Something.
man.
Yeah.
So, I think let's talk about Malayalam movies because Bollywood doesn't
No,
deserve
but
this.
the best. This is like the best time to ask this question. I would feel like right after Radhe release. It's like it's no time.
That's what, right? I mean,
Yeah.
let's not talk about Bollywood. Let's just go back directly to the South Indian film industry.
South, yeah.
Yes, please. नहीं तो भाई बुरा मान जाए.
So, when it comes to Malayalam movies, okay, one thing that I
Yeah.
like about Malayalam movies is how is it different from other South Indian movies, right? If someone asks me that, I'm like, okay, first of all, there are no unnecessary action sequences happening that happen in
Yeah.
Kannada, Telugu, and Tamil movies,
Especially
Yeah.
Telugu movies.
Yeah, especially Telugu movies. Like,
Even Tamil have the Tamil and
Yeah.
Kannada also have.
Yeah.
It's just like you have to pick out the movies.
yeah,
Everyone
exactly. So, that's what it is. And Malayalam movies are very realistic, down to earth, a lot of them. Recently, I watched
Okay.
Joji, okay. And
Yeah.
it's based
Fahad
on,
Fawcett.
it's based on Macbeth, but
has. Yeah.
it is in an Indian setup, so it is so damn relatable, and it can actually happen. One day we can see this, coming in the news that a guy did
Yes.
this to his family and this happened. That's how it is. And
Yeah.
I think what makes Malayalam film industry great is the choice of movies that the actors go for. Fahad Fasil, Dulquer Salman, Naveen Pauly, and these guys. Like,
Yeah.
they don't pick clout stuff, that they're not like, okay, give me a script where there's a lot of action going on. Give me a script where there's unnecessary romance. They won't do that at all. They
Yeah.
want stuff that makes sense, and they want stuff that that people can actually learn something from, I think. And
I think it's a
Yeah.
little. Yeah. Sorry. You complete.
yeah, so as I was saying, the first Malayalam movies that I watched was Bangalore Days, and I fell in
Okay.
love, dude. Like, my
Yeah.
god. And then I watched Charlie. I watched all Dulquer Salman movies after that first. Then I came to Fahad Fasil, and I was like,
Yeah.
damn, this guy's also crazy. Then I was
Fahad
Naveen
Fawcett
Pauly
has done
movies.
some really good movies.
Amazing movies, dude. I watched Trance. I watched. There was another movie that came out. It was totally online because of the pandemic. Like, all of the things that happened in the movie happened through video calls. It's
Oh,
on
okay.
Prime.
Yes, yes.
I'll tell you the name. It's on Prime. I don't remember it right now, but yeah, I'll tell you.
Okay.
So
They made the movie during the pandemic, right?
yeah, and
Oh, okay.
it was based in a pandemic world. So everything was happening on call. You know, that's how it was. So it was just the concept of the movie was just amazing, dude. Like,
Yeah.
who could have thought of doing such a movie? And they've actually planned to release it in the theaters in a live action format, like not via video calls, via actual setup in the halls
Interesting.
later on. So they actually are like the director and the writer were able to visualize stuff two ways. That's how it was. And that's
I
crazy.
think the main reason behind that is I feel like there's just like what I felt, because even I love watching Malayalam movies.
Yeah.
I've seen a lot.
Yeah.
Like if you wanted to add someone to the like that list, there is this Ayyappanum Koshiyum.
Yeah.
They're on Amazon Prime. Should watch that movie. That is one of the best action movies that I've ever seen in Malayalam.
Oh.
It's an action movie, but the way they build it up.
Oh.
It's just one fight scene, which is main fight scene in the end.
Oh.
And the way they build it up is very nice. And it's nothing like guns are involved.
Okay.
Two guys fighting in a market.
Oh damn.
Yeah, they're fighting in a market, and they build up to that fight. Why it happens? It's all
Yeah.
ego power. That's a great movie. And 22 Female Kottayam, I don't know if you have seen it. That's a
I have.
great movie. It's a
Yeah.
funny movie.
I
It's a
have.
very nice movie. And so like the whole thing is, I understand Malayalam industry, like of course, like Kumbalangi Nights.
Yeah,
and,
yeah.
But other movie industries also have good movies. Like the only difference, like if you watch Hindi, have you seen this movie called 1971? It's an old movie. It's by Manoj
I've not
Bajpayee. Okay.
Okay.
Old movie. Okay. It didn't come out in 1971. It came out
I get it.
sorry. Came out in the 90s or early 2000. There's a new movie called Eeb Ale Du.
Okay.
Okay, it's a very funny name movie, and it's also on Netflix.
Okay.
There's
Is it
another
about
movie.
monkeys? Is it
Yes, it's about
Ah,
monkeys.
okay,
It's
okay.
about monkeys. It's about a guy in Delhi. There is a particular profession for people who chase away monkeys,
Yes, yes, yes.
Oh.
It's about
and there is this new hiring. This is a guy who newly joins it, and they show his experience.
Shit.
Yeah, it's a great premise. It's a great premise.
Wow.
And there's another movie called Coat. Okay, it's one of my friends suggested it to me.
Okay.
Coat. It's nothing about a guy who's a freedom kind of thing, who's a poet. So
Okay.
he's in Bombay. He's a poet, and he talks about the atrocities done by the government.
Oh.
You know, he sings poems about it.
Okay.
Now, which falls under sedition,
Oh yeah.
but it also contradicts the freedom of speech.
Yeah.
Interesting premise, but the story is not about that. It's about how slow Indian courts are.
Oh.
How slow Indian courts are. And they, and the thing is, they don't tell you Indian courts are slow. They show it.
Oh, they show it. Yeah.
They show it how slow they are. It's a very boring movie, actually, to be frankly telling. It's very boring.
I think
But it's-
the word you're looking for is slow. The movie is very slow. You know.
Yeah, it is slow. Definitely, it's slow.
Yeah.
But what I wanted to say mainly from this point, and I use these examples of movies, is Bollywood also has a lot of great movies.
Yeah.
Yes.
So does Tamil and so does Malayalam. I'm not trying to say we are better than Malayalam. Not actually Malayalam
I
is
get
better.
It. Yeah.
I'll tell you why I feel they are better is because Malayalam industry is the first industry
Yeah.
to normalize these movies,
Yeah.
to commercialize these movies,
Yeah.
where audience themselves they finally got into the heads of audience. They're like,
Yeah.
watch movies like this.
Yeah.
So the audience is expecting like, give me a good story.
Yeah.
Yes.
So that is the only thing Malayalam movie has advanced. They have gotten into and I feel that has happened is because of the main lead actors.
Yeah.
Them picking
exactly.
up alternate premises is what has done this. Because I would see in Tamil, if you see like major heroes, they would not pick movies which are interesting. They're like, no, we want mass.
Yeah.
No, I want to get out of a jeep which is flying at 180 kilometers. Like, you get it, what is that? So that is fucked up. I think that is the only difference I feel. Good movies are there,
Yeah.
but they are not being able to identify it
Yeah.
because the mentality is not changing.
Yeah.
But recently in Telugu industry also that's developing, right? Like if you see Pelli Choopulu.
Yeah.
and
I
then
mean, I'm glad that
came
boy was a
around.
Telugu, but yeah, it is happening. It is like,
Jati Ratnalu was a big hit right here.
oh yeah, it was?
Yes,
Okay.
yes.
Dude,
Jati
Jati
Ratnalu
Ratnalu,
was
like the comedy Jati Ratnalu has, okay, it makes
Okay.
no sense. It's insane, but you laugh like hell because in that very moment when they're saying it, you are like, What the fuck?
Tell me
That's
the
bullshit,
premise of
dude.
Jati Ratnalu. Is it there on any platform?
It's on
It's
Prime.
there on
It's on
Amazon
Prime.
Prime.
It's on Prime.
I'll check it out. What is the premise?
The premise is basically there are three friends, okay, from a village. Okay, and
Okay.
they
Come
try
to the
to
crime.
move to Hyderabad, and when they move to Hyderabad, things start going south. So
Okay.
that's what the movie is about. And then in the end, it'll be like it's all pointless. That's the feeling you'll get. But then the movie is so entertaining, right? That's what keeps
Okay.
you like hooked to the screen
I'll check
at all
it out.
times. You'll laugh throughout. That's how it is.
I'll definitely check
There
it
is a
out. I
girl.
wanna watch
So
movies.
one
dude.
of the three
That's
friends, right? One of the three friends. He every time somebody tells him, "Dude, why did you do this? It's because of you." He'll be like, "If everything's because of me, I'll go from here, dude." That's how he is. And then his mom comes in at a point, okay, and then she tells that guy the same thing. If everything's because of me, I'll go. And then Naveen Polishetty goes like, "Your whole family is like this. That's how it is." So it's
He
crazy.
became really famous after the movie.
Yeah,
Oh, he's become famous, oh?
he became a
In
sensation.
Hyderabad, yes.
I hate that guy, dude. I really hate him.
Why?
Because if you take my YouTube videos, I don't know what is this, because if I look like him, at least like some 30-40 comments. Hey, this guy looks like Naveen Polishetty. I'm like,
Don't shave, never shave, dude. Never shave.
yeah. I'm like, why is this guy? Dude, I got like 20-30 comments. This guy looks like Naveen Polishetty. He looks like Naveen Polishetty. That's annoying. It's annoying.
Yeah.
Oh man.
Yeah.
So
But
I think
I'll check this movie, Jati Ratnalu.
yeah. So as you said, like Tamil, other film industries. When we talk about other film industries, it's usually cars flying here and there, and that's how the action sequences go about. But I think Dhanush has been trying to do what Malayalam film industry has done. Dhanush has been trying to portray those realistic
Dhanush
stories.
and Vijay Sethupathi.
Yeah.
Yes,
These are the two
yes.
These two
Vijay
guys
Sethupathi.
these two guys have been actually trying to tap into that culture where people watch movies that are not unnecessarily flashy.
Mm.
Yeah. So if
But
you
the
talk
problem
about
with
Asuran,
Dhanush is,
yeah,
the problem with Dhanush and Vijay Sethupathi is, they'll do movies like this, very artistic, like Asuran,
yeah,
or
Yeah.
what is the first movie he did with it? Like Mother. I think about Chennai. What is the name of the movie, dude? The Don. How he becomes a Don.
Mari.
Not Mari. Mari. He is a Don.
Okay.
Yeah, Mari.
This is with Vetri Maran. This is a very good movie. The first part has come out.
Okay.
I forgot the name of the movie. Okay, this is like Vada Chennai. Vada Chennai.
Oh, okay.
Now that's a great movie. Now the problem is Dhanush. That's the thing. He will do very artistic movies
Yeah.
where you're like, oh, the movie is great, but he'll also do mass movies. Like,
Dude, there is one coming on Netflix, right? The trailer is out and it'll come on Netflix like I think
Jigar
May
Tanda.
end or June. Yeah,
Jigar
yeah.
Tanda, yes.
Yeah.
not Jigar Tanda,
Not-
Jagame Tandiram.
Jagame Tandiram. Yes, that's the movie. And the trailer itself shows that he's gonna be a mass in the movie and he's gonna
Proper mass.
fuck people up like anything. That's how it's gonna
So
be.
that's the thing. So once they try that, they're like, okay. So people are confused. They're like, now they can pick sides. If they
Yeah.
want, they both like Dhanush. They're like, okay, we'll watch his artistic movies. We'll watch his mass movies.
Yeah.
Like
But,
Raghuvaran B.Tech was artistic movie, right?
VIP.
yeah,
Yes.
VIP, yeah.
In Telugu,
VIP
it
was more the
Raghuvaran.
director, dude. The director, the first
Yeah.
one, he's like, he knew what to sell. Like, he understands Indian middle class families.
Yeah.
Okay.
So if you watch the movie, the humor, that one scene where they got all the Indian fans, I think Tamil fans, was that scene where it's Sunday and he has to go buy meat.
Yes.
That is the thing. If you have a sibling, it happens in all Indian households.
Yeah.
Everyone, like my mom saw that scene, she was like, hey, this is our family. Yeah. And I knew, as I'm sitting there, I'm like, okay, this is the scene where he got them.
Yeah.
This scene does not add any value to the movie.
Yeah.
It's just there, but he got them. Like the whole first half, people are laughing because of that.
Yeah.
So I feel so Dhanush does that, even Vijay said. And the problem is, I think I watched this interview of this guy who directed Master, Lokesh Kanagraj,
Yeah.
and he made a very good point. He's like, see, dude, at the end of the day, it's a money-making industry.
Yeah.
We are here to feed ourselves, to make money. I know art is there, but I want to make money also. Now, I like someone like Vijay.
Yeah.
People expect like demigod status in India, Tamil Nadu. Now I can't show him as a guy who's working in HDFC Bank and who has a normal life. People will not accept him. Yeah. So he made this great argument when I was making Master. I told Vijay sir, he 50% this will be your movie, 50% this will be my movie. And and the reason why he said that was this is a step by step.
Yeah.
We can't immediately revolutionize the movie industry
Yeah,
one day.
that's what. Yeah.
50, 60, 70, that's how you have to take it.
Yeah.
And also the significant factor for that is Vijay is very like new director, I'll give you a try.
Yeah.
I'll give you a shot.
Okay.
Now all heroes need to do that. They need to be like new director, I'll give you a chance.
True. Yeah.
Like Rajnikant does it. Rajnikant gave Par Ranjit a chance with Kala.
Yeah.
You know, it's like Kabali. So we have like the scene will only change if the big guys slowly change.
Yeah.
Otherwise,
that's it.
it will change. But if the big guys don't change, it will be like a slow process.
Yeah.
That's the only thing.
I think that's the same thing Shujit Sarkar has done in Bollywood industry, dude. Like,
Yeah,
as you said,
definitely, I would say.
when it comes to middle class families and lower middle class families, Shujit Sarkar gives amazing stories. There was
Definitely.
October, there was Gulabo Sitabo. I watched like last year it was out, you know.
Yeah.
So what he does is he takes these iconic names who knows who he knows that you know they'll do a great job, given whatever character, and then he makes those stories that you like, that these characters have never been seen in, you know. That's how it is.
Okay.
If you watch Gulabo Sitabo, Ayushmann Khurrana and Amitabh Bachchan both, they have never played such beggar kind of characters where they don't have any money, you know. They're living off scrapes in the movie. That's how the movie is. Okay.
Oh, that's how the premise is.
Yeah,
okay.
that's the premise, and the premise includes a Haveli, in Lucknow, a Nawab Haveli in Lucknow, and it's on the name of a woman there, and a very old woman there. Okay, and Amitabh Bachchan is that woman's husband in the movie. Now the point is, Amitabh Bachchan wants the Haveli because the Haveli costs a lot. So once he gets that, they won't be living off scrapes anymore. That's how it is.
Okay. Okay.
And then Ayushmann Khurrana is like, I won't let this guy get the Haveli because he's a tenant there, basically. So he's like, I won't let this. Yeah. So he's like, he'll get everything. He'll kick me out. I won't have anywhere to live. I can't give him that. And the whole movie is fun, you know, because it's all about them fighting each other, you know, all the time. Ayushmann Khurrana and Amitabh Bachchan fighting each other and like passing one-liners on each other, roasting each other throughout the movie. That's how it is. So it's amazing. And I've never seen those guys in those characters ever. That's how it is. When you talk about October, right? Varun Dhawan, he usually does flashy movies. Coolly, like.
Oh, I haven't seen October. I haven't seen October.
So October, it is amazing. October, what happens is you see that side of Varun Dhawan, which is actually useful to the film industry. That's how it is. Honestly, because. So there's a co-worker that goes through an accident. She falls off a terrace and she's in a coma or something, and then she has these huge surgeries going on. So what happens is, this guy is the last guy whom she talked to right before she slipped, you know.
Okay.
So what happens is, this guy gets hitched on the idea that she wanted to tell me something, you know. I was the last guy she talked to. There must have been a reason to it. Okay. It's a very foolish idea to start with, but then once the movie starts developing and the bond between them starts developing, between the girl and the girl's family and this guy, you get to see that no matter how dumb the idea, it has actually made sense in the long run. That's how it is. So it becomes a very emotionally...
It's not foolish. I think it's like, it's not foolish. I would say it was not maybe well constructed.
Yeah, like, I mean, the initial idea of it, when you talk about the initial idea that the writer would have gotten, you know, to write this whole script, it wasn't a very well constructed idea. He was just like, okay, let there be an accident, and then there's a guy who is indirectly involved, and he somehow gets into this obsession of making things right, you know, just because he was involved. That's all there is to it, you know.
Understood.
Yeah. But then again, they give a perspective from that, from that guy's angle, and you're like, okay, it might so happen that someday if I'm involved in such a drastic event myself, it might so happen that I also get to a point where I'm like, okay, let me take care of her or him to a certain point where I'm at least satisfied, you know, that I could do justice to my involvement in all this. So,
understood. It's a nice movie. That's a nice premise though.
Yeah. So that is the point, right? I mean, Indian film industry is slowly moving towards that point where you have some great movies to watch, which are not unnecessarily time consuming.
Yeah. No, the like slowly directors will start to understand like it's just about I just want to tell a story, dude. I
See,
don't
like-
want like that's the simplest attitude. Yeah, sorry, Abhishek. you're
No,
saying.
no, it's fine. You go on. Sorry to interrupt.
No, the whole idea is behind like the new director who come out and they just wanna tell stories. That's all it is. They just don't
Yeah.
wanna like it's like I don't want like a guy jumping from the 7th floor to beat up 12 guys. It's not real. It's not real. I want like genuine like and it's the payoff is better when you do that. It's like
Yeah.
imagine if two guys are talking like I think I think Alfred Hitchcock, he had this great line. And if two guys are sitting and talking on the table,
Yeah.
and it's like he tells it in a very well concise manner. So I'm gonna fuck it up, but still listen to me. Okay.
Yeah.
If the two guys are sitting and talking to each other, and it's a normal conversation, they're talking about how was your day yesterday
Yeah.
and all that thing. And towards the end of the scene, you pan down the camera and then like bring the camera down, and you see there's a bomb under the table which
Oh.
explodes. Now this is one way of telling the story. The problem was the audience was not on the edge of the seats because they took the camera at the end
Hmm.
down.
Hmm.
But imagine if two guys are talking and
Yeah.
the camera goes down immediately in the beginning of the
Yeah.
scene. There's a bomb and then it comes back.
Yeah.
Now even when they're having a normal conversation,
Yeah.
it's like it's like you are fucked. You're like, why are they talking about how was their day? There's a bomb beneath.
There's a
So
clock
that is
ticking in
what-
your brain, I think. That's what it is.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So that is how movie writing is. So like, how do you build tension?
Yeah.
So you show the bomb little early.
Hmm.
It's like a bomb under the table. There's a term in movie industry, the bomb under the table,
Oh.
which is the main premise of the movie. So like what happens is when you watch like a normal scene, like a movie, the old Indian movies, the main task for the hero will come in the lunch interval.
Yeah.
What he wants to do, which will set the context for the second half.
Second half. Yeah.
But now, since movies are getting shorter and shorter, you set the premise in the very beginning. Like if you see Shubh Mangal Savdhan,
Yeah.
like they set the context very early.
Yeah.
Yes.
Now what that gives you is a chance to crack so many jokes and
Yeah.
navigate the stories so many places because you've already set the tangent.
Yeah.
You already set the context. You're like, हाँ इसका नहीं खड़ा होता अभी क्या करना? Like what could be the endless possibilities?
Oh man.
So I feel directors are starting to get that. They're
Yeah.
starting to get that.
And there was the bit with the Parle Ji, right? They show that.
That is the main scene. That is the main scene. And the Parle Ji falls into that coffee. And it's a very funny
Oh
movie.
man.
Actually, like that is the set of movies of Ayushmann that I really like. That Dum Laga Ke Haisha.
Yeah.
That's a very good movie.
Then Shubh Mangal Savdhan.
Zyada Savdhan too.
Zyada Savdhan is okay. It's not that good. It's
Yeah.
not because they kind of like pulled it off.
They
The
tried
momentum
hard.
was
They
there.
tried hard. That's how it was. Yeah.
They pulled it off.
This one was good though. Badhai Ho. Have you seen
Badai was very good.
Oh,
Badai
man.
was very good.
So what happened is my parents watched the movie and they have two kids, me and my brother, and the movie portrayed two kids, Ayushmann and his brother.
Yeah, correct.
Okay.
Brother.
And they had a similar age gap that me and my brother have, 5 to 6 years, And then my
Okay.
mom comes to me and she's like, "Do you want to enact the movie?" And I'm like, "No, don't do that to me." Although the
That was
movie is
funny.
relatable to middle class
Yeah.
families, I don't want it to
Yes.
actually happen, dude. That's what.
Yeah.
So it
That
was
is
really funny.
Like
dude.
your mom basically asked you, "Can I do it?"
Yeah, exactly. So it was like, damn, dude, this is crazy.
Yeah.
Good
That
news
is
aane
funny.
wala hai.
Yeah. So like, since he brought out Good News, there's a movie called Good News. Have you seen it?
Yeah. Akshay
It's
Kumar, Akshay Kumar and
it is
Kareena Kapoor,
the-
right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes.
It is the attempt to make a good story commercial.
Yeah.
I'll agree
True.
to that.
It's a very good, like a good story, but they made it so commercial with fucking Diljit Dosanjh and Kiara Advani.
And the
They just
songs
like-
were also really flashy.
Yeah, really flashy, and then
Yeah.
Kiara Advani, and then they like there are some genuinely funny
Diljit-
scenes in that
Diljit
movie.
was there,
Yeah.
Diljit is too flashy. Like, Punjabis are not like that. Why are you doing this? Why
But
are
I
you
think
forcing
Dosanjh
us to
did
do that?
Dosanjh did a great job with comedy, dude. That like he was so
I think
funny.
the funnier one was Akshay Kumar for me, comedy wise.
Dude,
Akshay
weed,
Kumar,
that weed scene.
Exactly, the weed scene is funny. The weed scene is very funny. Especially when and there are scenes when she farts also, Kiara Advani.
Yes, yes.
She farts because of the pregnancy thing and he starts laughing like
Oh man.
And I think that scene is very funny. And I think the funniest one in that was because I feel was Akshay, because Akshay was the grumpy, upper middle class, leave us alone, kind of that you knew. And this couple was that. So to react that, like just leave that was very good, very nicely done.
Yeah.
But they still resorted to a lot of flashiness, lot of songs.
True.
And they're like, okay, let's find a bridge. We'll get both the audience. And
It got
then-
better towards the end, where the emotional
Yes.
scenes were happening and the background music, like the
Yeah.
song in the background. Those were good scenes, I think, because
See,
there
now the problem is
they actually
people have
dropped
to get to
everything. Yeah, there what they did is they dropped everything and they were just like, let's just concentrate totally on the emotional part and
Yeah.
hook the audience through it. So that's where they actually ditched the whole commercial movie thing.
Exactly. So the problem was they're like, first half we'll make it both. We'll make
Yeah.
it like Govinda kind of comedy.
Yeah.
Like "Oi, Hadippa," like that was. And then second half will focus. So I think Good News was a great example where they tried to do both
Yeah.
instead of one. Yeah.
True.
But Anand, does it ever happen to you that you're watching an emotional scene and
Yeah.
you start laughing out of nowhere, like
Depends
because
on
it
the
is very
condition,
emotional
yeah.
and you're not able to connect with that, and then you're like,
हाँ,
ये मुझे funny
like,
लग रहा है अभी के लिए.
when I'm high, I think that's happened when I'm high. Yeah. Like,
Oh,
college, I think we did that. We, we had weed and then we watched a movie where it was emotional in the end, but I was laughing for some reason. I
It
couldn't
happens,
control.
right? We choose a movie. We are not in our senses. We choose a movie and we're like, dude, this is gonna be fun, and it is
Yeah.
fun. And then at the end, there's an emotional scene, and we're like,
Yeah,
we're just
you
looking
don't
at
relate
each
at all.
other. We're just looking at each other, half eyes closed, and we're like, what the
Yeah,
fuck is
you
this?
don't-
We didn't ask for this, dude. And then we start
You just
laughing.
relate like one bit and you're just sitting there
Exactly.
like, और एक roll करना. Roll another one. I'm getting bored here.
But that was in college days, right?
Yeah, college days. Not after that.
Yeah.
After that, not. Yeah.
NCV raid.
Fuck MCV, my parents, dude. They will beat the shit out of me. They call the NCV. They're like, we have a criminal here, can you take him?
Oh man. Yeah. I think let's talk some OTT stuff, okay? I think what Netflix has been doing and what Prime has, like, these two are the two major OTT
Juggernauts,
platforms.
yeah.
Yeah. So the difference between them is Netflix is going like all kinds of commercial, okay? Like you will find so much teenage drama on there and so much K-drama, okay? And they've brought the whole Crunchyroll anime industry to Netflix, okay?
Definitely.
And when it comes to Prime, they have so many underrated, beautiful movies, okay?
Yeah.
That they know that the audience that they want to capture, they will find them, okay? Prime knows that. And then at moments, they do those big production scenes where they have Mirzapur, they have Patal
Yeah,
Lok.
Family Man.
Yeah, Family Man,
Man,
things
yes.
like these, So I think Netflix, I have been biased, through my podcast. if you look at my episodes, I've been so biased. I've only talked about Prime projects because every time I try to see something that I want to learn something from, it's always Prime for me. Because Prime originals are something like, if you see One Night in Miami, okay? I haven't talked about that movie yet, but One Night in Miami is like a real event that actually happened, It's based in the 70s. So it has Malcolm X, it has Muhammad Ali, it has the most famous black NFL player of that time, and a black jazz musician, okay? I don't remember the other two names, but yeah. So these four guys, they meet in a hotel room, okay, in Miami, a particular night, okay? And this night is the night before Muhammad Ali announcing that he has actually turned Muslim. You know, he has converted.
Oh, he's Cassius Clay. He's Cassius Clay.
Yeah, he's Cassius Clay in the movie. So what happens is that whole movie is just about that one night and these 4 people conversing all along about what kind of racism is going on, what each of them have faced, and what each of them have been doing. You know, have each of them being playing their part, you know, in the revolution that's going on. So you'll see a lot of conflicts happening. So you have 4 very different perspectives in play there, okay? And you see a lot of conflicts happening, but then at the end of the movie, what you have, the takeaway is you have hundreds of beautiful conversations that have, you know, happened in the movie, and you are so much more mature when it comes to these things at the end. That's how it is. Because I mean, and Prime has so many movies of the, like of this kind, okay, and shows.
Yeah.
So there's Tales from the Loop, which is sci-fi drama, okay. Nobody has heard of it. Very, very few people have watched it. I am one of the few people who have watched it.
Yes, you are one of the 3
So what happens in Tales from the Loop is they use sci-fi to actually amplify the drama in the movie. Okay. So everything emotional or psychological that happens, they use sci-fi to actually elevate it to another level. That's how it is.
Okay.
You know, they answer questions like, what would you do if time around you stopped, the world around you stopped?
Okay.
You know, in that very moment, what is the first thing you'll do, and what is the things that you'll continue to do if that's how it is for a while, you know?
Okay.
Now, if anyone addresses this question for the first time, they'll always go for the positive. They'll be like, dude, I'll run around naked, I'll do whatever I want, I'll fucking rob shops and have a shit ton of food at my home, you know, shit ton of clothes, stuff like that.
Yeah.
And then there is the ugly part. Nobody thinks about that, but they've shown it in the show, and the repercussion is there are things that you never know about that might be happening, and when you know about the truth, it's gonna be devastating, and you're
Like,
gonna. For example, what happens is the protagonist in that episode, the girl, she stops time. There is a device you can use to stop time, and she has a bracelet on that helps her evade the effect. You know.
Okay.
So she can move, she can do everything normally, but everyone else is stopped. And that she gets to know, like, the mechanic, there is a mechanic, okay, in the show. And the device that they use to stop time, it uses a refill. And that mechanic has a refill. So to continue this effect, in the middle of the story, she goes to that house, that mechanic's house. And she sees her mom in action with the mechanic there.
Mom in action? Like, you mean having sex?
Yes. They were in the middle of, like, they were right in the middle of having sex, and, like, it was paused. It was a very artistic moment, you know. But
why, dude? Why?
But
Like okay, wait a minute. The mechanic is fucking her mom or his mom?
her mom.
Her mom?
Yeah. The protagonist's mom.
Okay.
And then she finds
Like,
this
what
out.
the fuck, dude?
Okay.
This is a porn movie. This is a porn movie.
So the perspective that's in play is, a lot of times there are things that you don't know about, okay, and if time stops, okay, there are a lot of things that you can actually see, right, that you don't see in real life, like in life continuously. So that is actually so devastating for the protagonist. She never thinks of this again, like, you know, of stopping time again, although there are innumerable benefits
to see her mom fuck the
man. Isn't it obvious that it's devastating, you know?
Yeah.
So
I mean, it's obvious that it's devastating, but it's also obvious that your mom's a hoe.
So there are these beautiful movies, dude. Then there's Uncle Frank on Prime, you know, that talks about homophobia. So it has this guy who has played Vision, Paul Bettany, you know.
Okay.
Man, that guy is a great actor, dude. Like, Vision is nothing.
Yeah.
Vision, he just plays a poker face.
Before that, now.
Yeah.
We've done many movies before that.
Yeah.
He's actually a very good actor.
So he shows his, like, frequency in this movie. Like, He's a totally chill ass person.
Dude,
you know,
you
during
can
the
never
start.
judge anyone's acting with Marvel franchise. With like Tom Holland is a way good actor than just what he brings to Spider-Man.
That's true. That's
He's
actually
a
true.
great actor. Like you always take this franchise. Like even if you take the Twilight franchise, Robert Pattinson.
Oh my
That guy's a
God.
great actor.
I know, right? I
He's a
know,
great
right?
actor. But
His
it's just
breakup-
that they want.
His breakup
Yeah.
was a blessing in disguise to him.
Oh god. It's like the only actor who's shitty in franchise and in general is Kristen Stewart. She was shitty in fucking Twilight and she was shit in normal movies. She can't act. I can't believe she did Charlie's Angels. Like ruined the franchise.
Oh my God. It was so
Yeah.
shitty, man. So yeah, I think Prime has been doing a great job with the kind of movies and shows.
No,
that
dude,
they've been
I think the
producing.
only difference is I feel is like, at least in terms of Patalo, Family Man, and everything, Amazon Prime has a great team on ground
Yeah.
in India
Yeah.
because they have a great so to find out projects which are good in India and to capture them and they're like, yeah, we'll produce.
Okay.
Netflix has a team, but they don't do that much work on ground.
Yeah.
You'll never see Netflix managers or Netflix people from India
Yeah.
approaching writers and directors.
Okay.
What they do is they see a movie that's doing good, they'll immediately buy it.
Yeah, that's what. Yeah, that's true.
And also, the one more thing with Netflix is Netflix tries to go global. Like
Yeah.
what you say with K-drama or anime. and
Anime,
shit,
yeah.
They want to go global.
They have comedy
But-
specials also, right?
Exactly. So
They
are
started
very
with
global.
comedy specials and then they brought Dark, you know, that German show. They brought Dark
Exactly.
after 2 seasons, dude. Like Dark already had 2 seasons out. Nobody knew about that in India. And then last year they just brought season 1 and 2 in 2019 to
Oh,
India.
Dark was a huge success.
And then after that, like people just started to embrace international movies like anything. That's what
Yeah,
happened.
but Amazon Prime is doing a great job for India because they have a team in India and they understand
Yeah.
what works here.
True.
So they always buy the right movies. Like, they know the trick is not to go global. The trick is to go
yeah.
regional.
Yeah.
They're
Prior
like,
to
they're
that-
like, let's buy Jati Ratnalo, just buy Master, let's buy
Yeah.
Karnan,
Yeah.
let's buy Malayalam movies. Make sure Malayalam movies release on Amazon Prime. We'll give you a good deal.
True.
Like, Surya Rai Potru, that Surya movie,
Yeah,
that
yeah,
is
yeah,
released
yeah,
on
Yes.
Amazon.
Yeah.
So they are going more regional. They are not going global.
Yeah.
And that is the way if Amazon Prime has to sustain here, because the major difference Indians have is we can't speak the same language.
Yeah.
Yes.
So what's interesting for you cannot be interesting for me because of main medium of communication.
Yeah.
Even if I watch Jati Ratnalo tomorrow,
Yeah.
I might find the movie funny.
Yeah.
But I can write and give there be at least 3 or 4 references that you would have gotten I would have.
True that.
So the whole problem is now we are victim of our own diversity.
Hmm.
So now people cannot make movies in Hindi because and expect Tamilians to watch it. They're like, I won't. I have
Yeah.
great Tamil actors and directors who are making movie for me. Why the fuck should I watch Hindi?
Yeah.
But it's a great movie. I don't care. I
That's-
really don't care.
That's more towards north. I have persuaded my friends to watch South Indian a lot, and then they'll watch war, dude. They'll watch movies like War. They'll go to the hall and watch it, but they won't watch South Indian movies for some reason because they're like, I won't understand the language. Why should I watch it? I'm like, it's not about the
Yeah.
language. You just switch on the subtitles and try watching it because there's a lot of good Indian cinema that you're missing out on if you love cinema. you know?
That is something that even I don't understand. That is like
Yeah.
I know like the whole effort
Yeah.
to try something new, like to enjoy the reward of it.
Hmm.
For that you have to invest some time and effort to enjoy the reward.
Yeah.
Now,
Exactly.
if you don't want to watch a movie like Super Deluxe, it's actually your loss.
Yeah.
More
True.
than to their loss.
Amazing stuff, dude. Yeah. I agree.
It's your loss. And it's a movie that is not funny based on language. It's the context.
Yeah.
Imagine 4 teenagers watching porn and they see their mom. Like that is fucking hilarious. Do any grounds. Now, if you don't want to enjoy that scene, it's completely your loss.
Yeah.
So like when people, I've met North Indians. They're like, "Arey yaar, andu bondu karte rehte hain."
Ah.
There goes your judgment, and
Yeah.
you're gonna. If you don't want to enjoy a great movie, I mean, like, All the best.
Yeah, that's how it is. True.
Can I
Yeah.
add something like
Sure.
like
It's
Amazon
your podcast, dude. Why are you asking me? I
No,
should
no.
ask you.
It's like Amazon Prime. There is a new OTT that has come up called AHA. That's for only Telugu movies and
Yeah,
Telugu web
yeah,
series.
yeah, yeah.
Oh,
That's
okay.
doing quite well. That's doing
It's
really
doing quite
quite well in Hyderabad or down the south.
No,
They
it's
have-
the reverse of those North Indians. Like how the North Indians tell, I don't want to watch any South Indian. It's those
Yes.
few South Indians like, I don't want to watch Hindi. Fuck you. I will not watch Hindi.
And then there are people who are feeding like, take aha. That's how it is.
They're like, that's what AHA is making. They're like, I want only Telugu. I don't even
Yes.
want to watch
Yeah.
Tamil or Malayalam. Because it's like, people are becoming more and more lazier. Like the moment you give them something, they're like, but why not that?
That is why there is a phrase, right? Ignorance is a bliss. That's
Yeah.
actually getting popular by the day. That is because of the fact that people are lazy. They don't want to invest time in trying new stuff, and I think
Definitely.
there's a huge
That is
loss
like-
to that, as you said.
I learned this mainly from like a comic who, like, you know Bill Burr, right?
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yes, yes.
Yeah. So he's like one of my favorite comics, and he tells like the thing was when he was touring the country
Yeah.
for his comedy shows. Initially, what he would do is he would just stay in the condos or the hotel rooms,
Yeah.
and just evening he would just go do his show, and then next morning he'll leave
Hmm.
or just get hammered after the show, like how usually comics do. Get hammered, you know, those things. And then it started getting depressing
Oh.
to do that. And this is, I'm telling, a comic who was like 36, 37.
Yeah.
So he started when he was 27. So it's been 10 years into comedy.
Okay.
So he's getting depressed. Then he decided what to do. I decided ki I love comedy. This is my job. But I cannot only do this. I have to do other things.
Yeah. True.
So what he would do is he would make sure whichever city he's touring, he would Google or like find out what football match is happening there, what activities are
Oh.
happening there. He'll book a ticket. He'll go to the city and then he'll go for that match. He'll watch it with comics, and then even if no one comes, he'll go alone. He'll
Oh.
he'll do that, and then he'll come to the venue to do the show.
Amazing.
Now once he started doing that, and then they're like, no, I want to explore more. He started learning how to ride a helicopter.
Wow.
Yeah. And if you've seen comedians in cars getting coffee, he actually talks to Jerry
Yeah.
Seinfeld about this. He tells Jerry Seinfeld, ki, you know what I'm learning? I'm learning how to weld.
Wow.
Welding. I'm learning how to, like, this is
Okay,
a
weld.
comedian who's made it in life. Like, literally,
Yeah.
he's telling out auditorium, I want to learn welding. Like, he's telling
Damn,
that.
dude.
And so he understands what is, like, the thing is, once your brain gets accustomed to certain things, it does not want to try new things.
Yeah.
Now it's your job as a human being to push yourself to try a little bit more.
Yeah.
So when you tried that, and the fucked up thing about that is people don't understand the reward. That is so
Yeah.
beautiful. Like, dude, I would lose my shit if I can weld. Like, if I can learn, I would lose my shit. I would be so
That
happy.
is true, dude.
Yeah, because I have seen guys do welding, and I'm like, I wish I could hold the equipment.
Yeah.
I've thought about that. Like, you know, when they do that, the sparkly things come out.
Yeah,
I'm like,
that is
yeah.
so attractive, dude. That is
Yeah.
actually very catchy.
But here's a guy who finally figured out, like, you know what, fuck it, I'm gonna ask the guy teach me.
Nice.
And the best thing about this knowledge I learned was like it helps your comedy. It helps your comedy so much. Where you're occupied with other things, you suddenly think of a joke and you just come back and write it and go back.
Yeah. I think
started kind of-
you have so many new observations, right? Because of this. That's why
Exactly.
you build up to being a great comic too, that way. you know,
Exactly.
better.
So that's what I feel like humans lose. Like, not just comedians, everyone.
Yeah.
Once they reach that 30, then Netflix, they just like, I want to watch Friends and pass out. Yeah, you know, and I get it because I was there. It's so easy to watch Friends because you know the reveal, you know it's not gone, nobody's dying. You're like, it's so easy. And like how Mayank said, nobody's fucking anyone's mom. Like, it's like it's very easy on the heart. It's not devastating. So I get it why people are doing that.
When you're touring, so the tour really helped you to add more observations of
Not
each city?
observations, more jokes to my existing premises.
Ah,
Not observations because I remembered. See, the thing is, I was not doing new observation because this was a pro show.
Yeah.
no.
So you can't risk a joke failing. You know, it's like people
Yeah.
are paid money to watch you. So what I would do is I would add a new tag or a new tangent in between.
Okay.
right sandwich them between two strong jokes.
Okay.
So I started doing that, and then I would find a way to make that joke work. Like I started trying, but actually I did try one new premise in the. Actually, yeah, I did in the tour. The thing was I started the tour when I was doing the beggar story, how he
Oh.
scratched his balls.
Yes.
So when I started the Hyderabad, I did that. So once I put it out for the next city, when I came to Warangal and Vijayawada, I didn't have that joke. I can't do that now because it's already on YouTube. So I had to find a new premise. So actually, I did try a new premise, which was tried and tested out in Bangalore. But I was like, fuck it, I want to give it a shot. But it actually kind of worked a lot. It's a
Nice.
premise about how, because of the pandemic, I have actually moved back with my parents.
Oh.
Okay.
And so I'm 29 years old, but I don't have any adult problems. I have teenage problems. Yeah, like the whole joke is like I can I don't have to worry about rent or to dinner, but I can't jerk off when I want to. And that is a teenage problem.
Ah, shit.
So that is the observation. So I tried that in Bangalore a couple of times. It worked. I tried it more. Then I added in the tour. That also worked. So I did I did the new observation, but not based on the city.
Ah.
Not based on the city. Because that's too much of a risk. You never not even see. Imagine if you make an observation about a city, and you go do it immediately that night. You have no idea if there is an existing comic who's already doing that. In that
Yeah.
you know,
Correct.
imagine if you saw it the day you arrived. He's living there. He would have definitely made that observation. So that's a risk unless you live in the city and feel the vibe and understand the comic. Otherwise, maybe you can do a crowd work observation, like how
Yeah.
comedians do. Bangalore ka airport bahut dur hai.
Mm.
You can do that, but not like a very genuine observation about a city.
Yeah.
Should do that.
Agree.
Yes.
Damn, dude, this was so much fun.
Fun. Yeah.
Oh, it was fun for me too. I really enjoyed.
I think the last question I have for you is, would you ever want to write a show? Maybe, I mean, not a comedy show, more like a OTT show or something like that.
Definitely, dude. I would love to, because it's one of these ideas that always come into my head.
Yeah.
To see your product be on Amazon Prime, something that
Yeah.
you have worked on, something that's your baby. That is
Yeah.
always a dream. That is always a dream. But I don't think so. Now I'm professionally or skillfully equipped enough
Yeah.
to do that. Right now working on my comedy, trying to figure out how to be a comic who writes funny, jokes
Yeah.
on the spontaneously, and then this is I'm working on this. That I'm doing on the side. I would just open my diary and I would write a story,
Yeah.
something that I would try to push myself to not make it funny.
Yeah.
So that's a reflex. That's a reflex.
Yeah.
I'll write a romantic story, and then what if the girl kicked him in the balls? Anand, let's not go there. Let's not go there. Come back. But yeah, I think the only genre that scares the shit out of me, that I would be scared to pick ever, is romance, because that is one genre. I don't know the
Genre.
genre. A lot of people pronounce it differently, though.
Yeah.
It's confusing. Genre,
fine.
genre,
Let's just call it Gindre.
yeah, Gindre, yes. So my favorite Gindre. Yeah. So my favorite is crime and thriller. I love not horror, but crime thriller.
Yeah. Yeah.
And the one that scares me the most is romance, because I think I will never be able to pull that off. That is one thing that I am not I don't have the romantic bone to understand that, I feel. I would watch The Fault in My Stars. I'm like, yeah, it's romantic, but it's also very cheesy, dude. It's so cheesy.
Very cheesy.
Yeah. And the whole thing is, who talks like that? To a girl. I've been at a pub, I've kind of hit on women, but I've never gone to a woman and spoken like that. You know? Why are you looking at me? Because you're beautiful. Who talks like that? But yeah, some women love it, so it just blows my head. Okay.
Yeah, dude.
My
Not some, a
immediate
lot
rational
of.
thought.
A lot
Exactly,
of
no.
young women love it, dude. Like these cheesy
Yeah.
stuff, the grand gestures, they just love it. And I think Bollywood has done that to Indian women. Bollywood has done
True.
that.
Not just to Indian women, I think Indian men also. That's
Yeah.
the reason why they do that. Like I saw
Fucking
this
Karan
movie
Johar,
that-
dude. Fucking
Yeah.
Karan Johar. Because of him, we have to put so much efforts just to keep a girl happy, man. She's
Dude,
like,
I
you don't
thought,
express
okay,
your love. That's how it is.
Yeah. No, like I'm telling you I love you. What more do you want me to do?
Exactly.
Telling the words I love you.
Oh, man.
No, but you don't mean it. Like, ugh. I saw this movie. Have you seen this movie? Toilet Ek Prem Katha.
Yeah. Oh my god.
Have you seen there is a scene in the song like where he's recording her without her permission? Like he's hiding in the bushes.
Yeah.
And the funny thing is, Bollywood showed it off as romantic. They showed it
That's creepy.
Yeah, that's downright creepy. That's like, yo, you should be jailed for that. And they're like,
Oh,
no,
man.
I'm recording her as much as I can.
Even in Ranjana, like there has been that shit.
Ranjana was the creepy scene.
Like where he hugs Sonam Kapoor forcefully, and she's like, "Hill rahe ho aise."
Yeah, that's it. That's
And then the part where he actually slits his hand and he's like, if you go, I'll slit my hand, and then everybody will know that it's because of you. So it's basically like blackmail, but
Yeah.
they've shown it in a way where you won't feel like it's a blackmail. Dhanush is actually a victim, you know? So that's how they'll show it.
That movie is actually good in some places. Like if you
Yeah.
actually think about it, some places very good,
Yeah.
but like some they
Some
like
places.
they fucked it up.
They weren't fully Bollywood with that.
But you know what? There I feel there's like they've not fucked it up. I would feel is because that is a movie which is actually an exact representation of how guys and girls are in like Haridwar and Varanasi. Like you would see this two-tier cities, like the kind of love they show is like that. Like I remember I was in school and there was this girl, okay, and there was a guy who was hitting on her and she also liked her.
Yeah.
And now they both went somewhere to a park and he tried to make a move and she resisted.
Yeah.
She stopped.
Happens.
Okay. Yeah, it's like the girl said, "No, dude, what the fuck is wrong with you?" He's like this. There's no one in this park. Why are you afraid?
Yeah.
She stopped and like, "No, I'm not comfortable. Whatever it is." The guy comes back to school the next day. He decides, he's like, "I'm breaking up with you." Because this is school love. That's how it is. It's school love. He's like, "Why are you?"
If
Yeah,
anyone asks the guy,
fuck
why did you break up? The sex life is just bad, dude. What can I say?
Yeah. Fuck the sex life, the makeout life. Fuck the sex life.
दूर की बात कर रहा है तू.
Yeah. No, literally, this guy literally told her on the face. Why, she asked, "Why do you want to?" He's like, "Cause you didn't kiss me last night, like yesterday." And she's like, "Is that
man.
why you want to break up?" Like, yeah, you didn't let me kiss. I break up ho gaya wahan. And we are all laughing. Okay, we are like on the side. All guys are laughing. Our school used to leave at 2:40 p.m. 2:40, Kendra Vidyalaya. We are standing outside the gate. She comes. Then she comes with a 7 o'clock blade. You know that? Comes with 7 o'clock.
Didn't happen seriously.
She came and stood in front of him. She's like, "Tell me you love me, otherwise I'll slit my wrist right now."
Man.
And you know, this guy was not even romantic. He just got scared. Yeah, I love you. I love you. I love you.
Oh man, toxicity at its best.
Yeah,
but
it's like-
you don't even know it is toxic. You're just scared outright, and you're like,
I
fuck.
was so scared. I like, dude, that girl was my classmate.
Yeah.
I'm like, I could never make eye contact with her after that. I'm like, nah, you stay away from me. If I want.
What if
like,
you
I'll
fall
have a
for me?
con-
I'll be stuck.
Yeah, I can't deal with this shit.
Oh,
and all.
man.
Oh, it was the funniest thing. So I think Ranjana more on that phase is an exact representation of how
Yeah.
people behave.
Yeah.
Like it's not like we are like Karan Johar exaggerates the shit.
My God.
Yeah, that is there.
I think Ranjana, I feel they showed the exact what guys like Dhanush would do.
Yeah.
in
You
that
will see
scenario.
guys actually dancing out of nowhere too.
Yeah, definitely. It's so
Oh
true.
man.
But yeah.
No, I was just thinking, like, you know, if the same school girlfriend was there right now and you're doing jokes about relationship.
Dude, she is married. She's happily married. Last time I checked her face because we're Facebook friends. Last time I checked, she's happily married. So like, don't ruin a marriage right now. That is the thing. I'm 20. I'm gonna turn 30 in few months. So I know like I'm at that age now where all my school friends are married. Most of them.
Man.
Like there are only some 3 or 4 who are not married.
Yeah.
Yeah. You'll get there, Mayank. You'll get there soon.
I'm getting there.
Yeah,
He
Abhishek, for
wants
you
to
could
get
have started. For Mayank is that kind like some 3-4 weird chicks in college would have gotten married. Like he's at that stage.
Yes. Yes.
You are at that
Day
stage.
before yesterday, I got to know that one of my batchmates has gotten married, and I'm like, dude, we graduated October last year. Like it's not even been
Yes.
a year, you know.
Yeah.
And you just
That's
went
how-
ahead and married. I'm like, holy shit. She must have been thinking of marriage all her college life.
Not she, her parents.
I mean, I don't
She
know.
wasn't thinking about anything. She just came back after graduation, happily removed the coat, and her parents like mandap. Why did you stop walking? This is
Ah,
true
man.
because I know this because I know that age because same things happen.
Yeah.
Like 3-4 girls would start getting married like fucking random. Like whoa, she just graduated.
Then slowly when you enter 27 like me, then you see some of your friends getting married.
Yeah, some of your guy friends slowly starting to settle down. And
Holy
that is
shit,
like you
man.
have to cross 32. That's where the true
This is-
happiness lies.
This is like, I've found so many relatable points with Anand Ratnam that I want to change my name to Anand Mayank. Like from Mayank Khan, I want to change my name to Anand Mayank, and I'll be like following the footsteps of Anand Ratnam. That's how it is for
Yeah.
me from now on.
It's like now I've spoke to this guy, okay, and he said like he's 33, unmarried, happy.
Yeah.
Very happy, and he's like, you kind of get there, you know, in 30 to 30, you realize marriage is not that important.
Yeah.
Actually, it's not at all important for you to be happy. So now I'm just waiting to turn 32. Like, you know, I'm waiting. It's like, have you seen that movie?
waiting for that
Yeah.
realization to hit you.
Yeah, like have you seen this movie, I Am Legend? Will Smith. movie?
Yeah.
Yes.
Now
yes.
in that, like Will Smith is living in New York or somewhere.
Yeah.
And he's heard a news where there is like a secret place where humans are still alive,
Yeah.
happy.
Yeah.
That is my 32. Like I'm waiting, like I'm waiting to get there. Oh man, because for me it's bad. Like I'm turning 30. I live with my parents. Oh my god. It's like,
What is the reason you released that video? Marriage is a scam.
it was actually the genuine truth. My parents want me to get married. They have been
Yeah.
doing this for like past 3 years.
Yeah. Once you reach 27, I think that's the mark where they start with that rant about get married. Let's start finding girls for you. And then by
Yeah.
30, they want you to get married, and then 33, you have kids. That's how it is.
27 is when the cough happens.
Yeah.
Is that what? So what next? That's
man.
all happening.
That
Yeah.
actually happened.
Oh, that all the time. That happens the most. But yeah, just like you're 23, right, Maya?
Yeah, I am 23.
He's way too young.
Long way to go. It's like the Malayali long. Long way to go. Not even long. It's a long.
I'm
way.
just glad that I realized that I have to try new stuff at the right age, because I mean every time I talk to people and I say that I'm a full-time YouTuber, I do open mics, I have also tried to do a short film. I keep telling these things, and I want to become a comic book writer. I do all these things. So they're like, what's your age? I'm like, I am gonna turn 23 in July. They're like, you have a lot of time, waste as much as you want. I'm like, I'm not really wasting my time. You shouldn't put it like that, but okay, I get
You
it.
put it that way.
Yeah.
No, but actually, what they meant is this is the right time for you to take risks.
Yeah, experiment as
You're
much
not
as you want
wasting
because
it,
you
you're
have
taking
time.
a risk.
Yeah.
Because you have no liability right now as
Yeah.
such.
Yeah.
I mean, like, and also it's like it depends on you, dude. If you like, I don't believe in that right age and all because I've seen like there are a lot of people who started very late.
Yeah, that's
And
true.
there's nothing wrong with it.
Anshumur started very
Yeah,
late.
Anshumur, Atul Khatri, all these
Yeah.
guys started really late. But the whole idea is to genuinely try to, consciously push yourself to finding something that you really like.
That's what I've been
Yeah.
doing, man. Yeah.
That is like something that I have lost it. Like when I see people, like I've seen people losing it. Where
Yeah.
I feel like, what do you want to do? Like, I don't know. I like this job. I mean, do you like it? I don't like it.
Yeah.
It's not like I look forward to Monday to do this. But I would rather do this. I'm making good money. I'm drinking whatever I want. If I want a drink, I can afford it. That is
Yeah.
not a problem. I'm like, if that's your benchmark, go for it. Don't live your life.
Yeah, exactly.
if you wanna be able to afford the drink that you want, I'm like, yeah, that's the thing. So I think, yeah, just like enjoy, dude. Just chill out. Because right now it's pandemic and you should not take any big decisions right now.
I think surviving is much better than doing anything big in pandemic at least. Just survive the pandemic somehow and get it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
don't die. Is that what you're saying?
Stay home,
Just be
stay
alive.
safe. Mask up when you go. Double
How
mask
come
up.
how come I didn't think of that?
New
Shit, man, you
observation.
opened my eyes, Abhishek. But yeah, guys, stay masked, stay indoors, fucking just don't do anything. Get depressed.
Watch this podcast. It has been so much fun, man.
Fun, yes.
Oh man, we have laughed our guts out today. My mom has been
Yeah.
shouting, "Mummy, 2 minutes." This is also gonna go in the podcast. So thank you so much, Anand, for being here. Thank you, Abhishek, for co-hosting this with me. And
Thank you so much.
guys, if you like this podcast, like it's 1 hour 40 minutes now, so I think we have enough content to put on YouTube. So
Oh,
thank you so much for being here, guys, and thank you guys for coming and watching this video. And if you liked it, please like, share, subscribe. 3 magical words of a YouTube sim, always. So Couch Potato signing out. See you later. Good night.